Hey, what's up? This is Beau Allen. Today's Butter Breakdown, we're going to be talking about the run game from the Atlanta Falcons against the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football last night. So I'll be honest with you guys. You guys know I'm a little bit of an Eagles homer. Got the jersey up on the wall, but I also made my living as a run defender. So had a hard time watching some of the run defense from the Birds last night. I'm excited to break it down today. Bottom line is, we're going to get very specific in this Butter Breakdown. We're going to get into the nuance of outside zone, especially to the open side, and how to defend it, how to play it with good technique. Talking about this game last night, versus the Eagles, Bijan Robinson finished with 97 yards on 14 attempts. He had 6.9 yards per carry. The Atlanta run game was dialed. It really, their wide outside zone, especially to the open side, created a lot of problems for the Eagles defensively. And it was really interesting for me to watch it today. So wanted to really break down some of this stuff very specifically. I'm going to do my best to educate you guys into the nuances of the Falcons run game and why they were so successful. So started off, I don't want to get too, specific too early, but I just want to say, these dudes up front for the Falcons, they played really well, especially this right guard, Chris Lindstrom. He was a problem, especially on the second level, the linebackers of the Philadelphia Eagles, but we'll see that here on tape. Just before we really get going, I just want to say this, all right? The Atlanta Falcons did an incredible job of running their open side, outside zone run game. And so what that means is if you're an 11 personnel, which the Falcons spent a lot of time in 11 personnel in this game. They're 59 out of 61 plays were in 11 personnel. But what that means is you have one tight end right here and one running back. And then a lot of the times, Kirk Cousins, the quarterback for the Falcons, is under center. Okay, so right here he's under center. He's not in shotgun. He spent a lot of time in pistol last week against the Steelers. I'm not going to talk about that too much. Like I said, specific butter breakdown into the open side, outside zone run game for the Falcons. What outside zone to the open side is, okay? The closed side is where the tight end is. This is the closed side. The open side is where there is no tight end. This is open. In this game, the Philadelphia Eagles matched a lot of the Falcons' 11 personnel with nickel, all right? Not going to talk about that too much, but they played a ton of over. What that means, over front. You can see that here, but what that is you have Milton Williams here in a 3 technique to the close side, and to the open side, you have Jordan Davis in kind of a really tight 2-eye. All right. Very clear to me that the Falcons had a plan to run, these open side, outside zones, because they came out in quarter one and they immediately started doing it. And that's what this is right here. Check this play out. I'm going to roll it first and just show you guys what outside zone to the open side is. Watch this play. All right, so that's what outside zone to the open side is. Obviously, they gained some good yardage here, but what you see is this. You see a scoop here, a B block here, so an outside slip we'd call it, and then just kind of like a turnout here. This dude did an unbelievable job on the second level, creating a lot of space. And where a lot of the problems came up is for the Falcons, Bijan Robinson would start front side and then bang it backside for some really good yardage. And that's what happens in this clip, okay? A lot of technique things that happen too, like breakdowns for the Eagles defensively. I'm not going to get a ton into this, but this is the first play of the game. I don't know why Milton Williams is jumping all the way outside this tackle on the backside of this run play. It's 1st and 10 here. The quarterback is under center. These guys are all down in really tight 3-point stances. There's not a lot of space here, and that's what you see a lot of the times from teams that run outside zone well, is there's not a lot of space here, right? Because they're running all these combo blocks. So I'm not sure what exactly Milton Williams is doing here, jumping outside of this. That creates huge problems, spacing on the backside of this run play. Look at all this space, okay? That's further exacerbated by the fact that Chris Lindstrom, who's a very athletic right guard, did a great job on the second level on Zach Bond. You're going to see that a lot from the game on Monday night. Really good job cutting him. Good job from Bijan Robinson, starting front side, rolling it back and hitting that in that backside A gap. That's a lot of the times this backside A gap, which is right here, where these outside zone plays are designed to hit. They're not always designed to rip front side. If you get a good edge, it's almost always going to roll back and hit in the backside A gap, or else roll all the way back and hit in this, backside C gap. So that's just the very first play of this game. And it became very clear to me early that the Falcons were committed to this outside zone scheme. They're having a lot of success running it to the open side, and they really stuck with it, as we're going to find here. I could have pulled like so many clips of this. Did some really specific breakdown stuff. The Falcons ran 12 outside zone plays to the open side, which is a lot. All right, this is the very next play. All right, again, when you have success offensively early in a game, sometimes you just run it back, and that's exactly what they did here. They just swapped sides and ran the same play to the other side. Some bad tackling from the Eagles here, but again, let me show you where this breakdown is here. So you get this fast slip here, or we'll start front side. Front side here, right? This is just a reach. Okay. They do a good job with these edge players too. The wide receivers and Drake London especially were committed to the run game for the Falcons, which just it just creates some discomfort for your edge players to set a hard edge. But you get a reach here, since you're playing a 2-eye and you're going to the open side. It's a combo block here, but it's moving fast. Like this is fast. And what you're seeing a lot of the times here on the front side, like Milton Williams is playing a 2-eye here, gets all twisted up a lot of times because this guy is trying to, they run this really well. These guys are climbing to the backer here, and this center's trying to overtake you as a 2-eye, and that's exactly what ends up happening here. So that's not the greatest start to this game for Milton Williams. All right. And then on the backside, what you have, what I would call, we call this like a slip combo, right? Where these two guys are moving with a lot of speed laterally for the same exact, kind of combo block principle, right? This dude is trying to chip your shoulder, climb up to the backer, and then this guy's trying to overtake you. And I know I'm getting very specific in this, but the Falcons O-line did a really, really good job backside of running these fast slip combo blocks. Like these combo blocks on the backside were really good. And a lot of times when you see these offensive linemen that are good at these combo blocks, you get D linemen that don't play square. Okay. And that's a tough place to be in when you're a defensive lineman. Like you need to be able to play square so you can play your gap, see the ball carrier, and make a play on the ball. And I didn't see a lot of that out of the Eagles D line on Monday night. So again, the first two plays that the Falcons run, outside zone to the open side. Continue to move on. I think this is a small thing, but this is smart. I'm not as familiar with this dude, number 59, Thomas Booker. I thought he played a good game. All I want to say here is I've played a lot of these outside zone schemes. If you're a 2-eye, which again is, what he's lined up in, you have this nice wide base. It helps you against some of these really lateral outside zone schemes. Crazy outside zone, right? To the open side. This is a nice edge. This is why I pulled this clip. Sweaty J, outside, linebacker, defensive end, edge player for the Eagles, does a really good job on this of setting a hard edge and knocking Jake Matthews back. Watch this. Look how far back he is in the backfield, okay? This is really good knockback from him. Really good job with extension with his arms. And then you can see his eyes on the ball carrier. And that's why he's able to, knock him back, play with his hands, sees the running back cut inside, and he makes a really good tackle. Again, right guard, Chris Lindstrom, did a really good job of making blocks, especially cut blocks on the second level here. And that's where a lot of this yardage came from on these rollbacks here. So if Josh Sweat doesn't make this play and it continues to roll all the way back, there's some space here. But the reason I pulled this clip is because I want to show there was some good edge play from the Eagles in the run game. That's a really good play from Sweaty J. Again, like I'm saying, this is all these plays are outside zone to the open side. So continuing on here, outside zone to the open side. This one is another good one. Okay. So like I was talking about earlier with these combo blocks on the front side, they're really hard because not only are they moving with speed laterally, but this guard, like since you're a 2-eye, you're on the inside half of him, like he can climb vertically as he's moving laterally as well. And so that's why what you need to do if you're a 2-eye here and you're Jalen Carter, you need to use your left arm here to try to close your left hip so that you can stay square. And he gets into a little trouble here because he crosses over. But if he's able to strike this right guard Lindstrom here a little better and close this left hip, he wouldn't end up getting knocked off the ball vertically so much. But this ended up being a pretty good play for the Eagles defensively. We got this fast slip combo on the backside here. Dean stays backside, and Milton Williams is able to squirt through there to make this play for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 yards. Again, this is a tough scheme to defend when you're interior defensive lineman, because the O-linemen, when they run it well, it's really hard to stay, kind of keep your hands on your man on key, strike, and move with them to make a play. Again, what I want you guys to key in on is how much hay the Falcons offensive line, how much hay they're able to make on the backside. Okay. Watch him and watch him. It's really tough. It's really tough. So you say, Beau, you played a lot of, first and second down in the NFL. How do you defend this? It's hard. One thing that you can do is you can try to play this guy very, very tight. Like you see Carter here has a pretty tight alignment. If he really tries to strike his right hand into the right guard's, inside half, you can try to flatten him out, right? And then he's not able to climb. The problem with this is Chris Lindstrom is a good athlete. He has a good get off, and he's able to really fly up vertically to get on the second level. You see what I mean? Another thing that you can do is you can go and play the inside half. If you know this, if you know this slip combo is coming here, you can attack the inside half of the backside tackle vertically and then be able to ricochet back and make that play. The thing is, if you do that, then your guard is free and he's up on the backer, and you really need to make that play. In this case, Jalen Carter isn't able to do that, and the running back rips it for some really big yardage. Like, this is hard. Like, this play is well defended on the front side. Like, this is a really nice edge from BG. Like, that's nice. This is, I'd like to see a little more square shoulders on this from Milton Williams, but that's tough. Like, that's going to happen sometimes. That's a rep that, you can live with in the NFL. The real problem on this specific rep, and what happened a lot during this game, is this dude, especially Chris Lindstrom, he was really good on the second level. And the 3 technique on the backside also had a tough day. And that created a lot of problems in the run game for the Birds. You guys, I'm going to kind of say this stuff over and over again, but I could have pulled so many clips of this. Again, all open side runs. This I thought was interesting, right? Because, like I said earlier, the Eagles are setting their 3 technique to the close side where the tight end is. Here you have Jordan Davis. Look how heavy he's playing this. Like, remember what I said earlier? If you want to try to flatten this dude out, if he's climbing up, you can tighten down your alignment and really play him with hands. So that's what he's trying to do here, okay? You see? And he does that. He does a great job of that, right? A little bit different defensively here with that small wrinkle, but this play still squirts out because there's no frontside edge. Okay, and again, I'm not sure exactly what the Birds are being coached to do here, but remember earlier in the same exact play, basically outside zone to the open side, which was the defensive right, Sweaty J set a great edge and made a tackle. Here he goes under right away, and there's no edge, and the running back squirts through for some really major yardage. This is a tough play to defend, and the Falcons, they came ready to play. I got to say, their commitment to running these under center outside zone plays, like open side, and they had a couple to the close side too. It was impressive. They got some great blocking out of their offensive line, and even their tight ends on the backside, a lot of their skill players too. This was a team that was dialed in on their run plan. They're having success with it early. They stuck with it, and they, create a lot of problems in the run game. One thing I want to say too is I was going to get into this in this breakdown, but I decided not to. The Falcons did a great job of using their success in the run game to create play action looks and kind of frustrate the Eagles rush. And it was a big problem for them. So look, again, backside. See, like I had a lot of coaches who say on the front side, you want knockback. On the backside, you want to stay alive. It's not what happened defensively on Monday night for the Birds. Again, Chris Lindstrom on the second level. You got Bijan up on Reed Blankenship and some yardage. Like you notice how all these plays are the exact same, right? Like they're all outside zone runs to the open side. It's crazy how much success they had. And don't get me wrong, like the Eagles knew it too. Like they're trying to stop it. Look, here they're bringing a corner blitz, okay, to the open side to try to defend against this. And the Falcons still had success with it. Like, get some really good blocking on this. Like, watch his left guard kind of sift his way, feel it out, climb up, and make a good second level block here. And then really good feel from the running back on this to just kind of wind it up, be patient, squirt through, and then bad tackling was also an issue for the Eagles defensively. This is the last one. I thought this was really interesting. Like I watched every single run clip in this game. Like I said, the Falcons were in 11 personnel for 59 out of their 61 offensive snaps. And, you know, consequently, the Eagles played a lot of nickel, right? They played a lot of overlooks. Like here, like they're playing bear, okay? You see? Like this is a bear front. Like this should be good against any 11 personnel run game. You know, like you have everybody is kind of like you have numbers is what I'm saying. And they still were able to have success to the open side. And a lot of that had to do, again, with the backside. So I talked a lot about how this dude, Chris Lindstrom, had great blocks on the second level, a lot of good cut blocks. He also mixed in a lot of cut blocks on the first level. So the first level would be the defensive linemen. Second level would be the backers. But also like Caleb McGarry here does a really good job cutting the three technique here on the backside. And like the reason that, you know, you didn't see more of that is because the Eagles only played a couple different bear looks. But anyway, like this is a very frustrating thing when you get cut as a defensive lineman, especially early in the game, which is what happened to Milton Williams before. Like I didn't pull that clip, but these dudes did a really good job in the cut game. Like it's frustrating. It makes you play kind of differently, right? You have to play with your hands more. You can't play as vertically. So this is a really good job of McGarry here, cutting Williams on the backside, allowing this to roll back. So like a lot of really good cuts on the from the offensive line. Just look at all this space. Like that's a tough place to be in defensively. You know, it's hard. So, you know, I think a lot of Eagles fans are frustrated with the Eagles last night. I think they kind of tricked that one off. Frankly, I thought the Falcons played really well. I thought they had a really good offensive plan of attack. I thought their O-line played really well. I was very impressed with their offensive line. So I talked about Chris Lindstrom. You know, their center, Drew Dahlman, played well. Jake Matthews, I've thought he's a good player for a long time. But, you know, if you take one thing away from this, it's this. The Falcons do a really good job with their outside zone. In this game, it happened to be to the open side because they had success with it early and they stuck with the plan, okay? This allowed them to free up a lot of great play action looks where the defensive line is so concerned about you know, playing that run and defeating this one specific play that the defense was getting beat with. So it kind of softens up your rush. And then the other thing is, just to get a little more specific, the reason that the Falcons had so much success with their open side, outside zone run game is because of their backside blocks. So their backside slips and their cuts at the second level out of, you know, some of their interior offensive linemen. That's a very specific butter breakdown. I feel like we're finally doing one that's really in my wheelhouse. I appreciate your guys' interest in some of the intricacies of offensive and defensive line play. Check out butter breakdowns. Let me know what you want to see. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks.